Every morning, I go on the same walk. Ever since I was younger, I walk down the winding path, enjoying the beauty of nature around me. I always felt peace here, feeling the wind in my hair and the morning sun slightly shining. I made my way back home. I walk back down the winding path again, still enjoying the same view I just passed. As I cleared the woods, the path opened up into a field of tall, green grass. I ran my fingertips along the blades of grass, watching the path fade into the ground. It was a long walk back home, and the field would always scare me sometimes. People say they've seen things in the fields around the woods. I would listen as grown-ups would whisper about ghosts or spirits unreleased, living in the fields. They never said what these spirits or ghosts would do, but the way they spoke about it scared me. So I would start running through the field, outrunning the ghost and spirits adults talked about. The field was a long run, but I saw the fence ahead. I was close to the road and started to slow, knowing I had to crawl over the fence to get to my home's driveway. I started walking with my head down, gathering my breath. For someone that does this every day, why am I so winded, I thought. I looked up at the sky to see buzzards flying. Must be roadkill on the other side of the fence. I was barefoot, as always, so I started my climb. I reached the top and dropped without looking down. I landed, but somehow slipped. There was something wet and slimy in the grass. I looked at my feet, and they were red. Turning to my right, I saw a human head and started to scream. As I jumped up, turning to run, there were shoe prints in the dirt around the head and the body attached. Someone had attacked this man viciously. I threw up on the road and then began to run. I ran all the way to my house, up the driveway, and through the door. My mom came to me quickly and asked what happened. Was I hurt? Did someone need help? I couldn't say anything except the body. The police were called when I was finally able to speak without choking on tears. My older brother came down the stairs, looking mad that he was woken up so early. I was still red-faced, either from the run or crying. My brother has always been my protector. Immediately, the anger disappeared from his face, replacing it with confusion and concern. Our mom and dad were speaking with the police, telling them whatever I said. They had found the body, but had no answers. I asked about the shoe prints I saw around the body and felt my brother stiffen slightly. I glanced up at him, and he was looking at me, but mostly through me. What's his deal? I thought. My parents walked the policemen out, saying they were grateful for their help, and the police said that they hoped I wasn't too traumatized by what I saw. During this conversation was when I looked around the doorway, and my heart started to sink. Next to the door were my brother's favorite boots, covered in dirt and mud. My eyes went wide as I turned to look at my brother, but he had gone back upstairs. In the small town we call home, people were hearing about what happened, asking anyone who would listen, "Who do you think did it?" I was always just listening to the grown-ups, absorbing their stories and guesses on who the killer could be. Some said an old man clipped the guy with his car. Someone else said the guy owes someone some money, so the problem went away, whatever that meant. I heard it could be a young, good-looking guy, getting his rocks off by hurting people. A lot of it I didn't understand, but what I did understand was that no one really cared about the person I found. They only cared about who did it. That part didn't scare me as much. The thing is, this has been happening for the past 5 years, and no one knows who is doing it. I guess I should have been scared, especially since finding the first body of the year. But at this point, I don't know why I wasn't surprised. It was a yearly thing. My dad called them randos, meaning people that no one would miss. That part made me feel sad. Just because someone is at a low part in their life doesn't mean they don't matter. The kids at school were worse than the grown-ups. They said it was a monster from the field that killed that man, one of the ghost or unrest spirits. I was popular for a day, Everyone asking, what did it look like? What did you do? What did you see? Endless questions I wish would end. I just couldn't get that look my brother had on his face off my mind. My brother didn't go to school on Monday, so he was home when I got there. Our parents both worked and didn't get home till 5:30. When I walked through the door, I noticed my brother's favorite shoes were gone. "Where are your shoes?" I asked. "I'm getting them cleaned. How they got so dirty makes me mad. Those are my favorite shoes." He wasn't looking at me when he was speaking, which was weird. He'd normally tease me or tell me a silly joke. He was being so serious. I started laughing and said, "They're just shoes, bro. It'll be fine." But it wasn't fine, not with my brother. My parents arrived home at the normal times, my mom having a sack in her hand. "Where's your brother?" she asked. "He's upstairs. Has been since I got home." She goes upstairs, and as she comes back down, my brother is right behind her with his spotless clean shoes in hand. He places them by the door, looking satisfied. As he turns, he looks at me and playfully says, "All better now." He sits next to me watching TV. My mom appears with the sock box, so we could match clean socks while watching TV. I kept folding more and more socks until I realized I had a huge pile of my brother's socks folded. "Bro, why you going through socks?" "That's why I'm barefoot, less folding." He had a shocked look on his face, almost embarrassed, so he turned away and said, "Let's just put them away." At this point, I was getting frustrated. Why is he being so weird? Ever since the body was found, he's been acting funny. I followed him to his room asking what's wrong. "You're not acting yourself," he said. I was so confused. I must have looked it too, because then my brother looked confused, then angry. "You're not acting like my sister." "What does that mean?" I asked. "You're just different. I don't know how to explain it." With a huff, he left his own room, leaving me alone to digest what he just said. I went to my room and laid on the bed. What kind of way was I acting, I thought. Everything was fine before the body, but it was always like that the past 5 years. It was almost the same time every year too, I noticed. My brother would act so strangely towards me, but after a while, we were fine again. I thought it was nerves from no one finding the killer. He was growing up. He talked with adults. What does he know? What are they hiding? Why will no one talk to me? My thoughts made me drift into sleep, dreaming of the body, the shoe prints, then running. Was I running from someone or two? I didn't know, but I woke up drenched in sweat. It was 4:15 in the morning. I groaned and rolled over on my side, seeing light coming from underneath my door. Someone was up. I heard low whispers of voices. I crept out of bed, walking as slowly as I could towards my door to open it. I glanced at my brother's room, and his door was open, and so were my parents' bedroom door. I followed the sound of voices to the top of the stairs. My parents and brother were talking, but quietly. I could still hear some. My mom, "You said it was over." My brother, "I was hoping it would be." "Dad, what are we gonna do with you?" As I shifted my weight to get closer, the floor creaked. I silently ran back to my bedroom and got in bed, pretending to be asleep just in case. Thoughts were racing through my head. Was my own brother the killer? I shook my head. No way. What was it they thought had ended? Why are they up so early and talking so quietly? I was so confused and tired. There's no way my brother is the one, I thought. No way. I didn't go on my walk the next day. I was so tired from the dreams of running, endless running. The school day went on, kids still talking about the killer and who it could be. I overheard someone say my brother's name, and I yelled, "No, he isn't," and I just started to cry. The emotions of everything, the body, my brother's face, the secret family meeting. I felt alone and abandoned by everyone I cared about. That night, at dinner, I just played with my food. My brother was in a better mood, tossing a pea at me. I gave him a half smile and went back to picking at my food. I went to bed early, saying good night half-heartedly, and went to my bedroom. As soon as my eyes closed, I was running. I was on my path in the woods, running fast along the winding road. This time was different. I saw someone ahead of me, also running. I was following this person. They kept looking back, looking through me, at some unseen entity. I turned to look as I ran, seeing nothing. There was nothing chasing us. So why are we running? When is this dream going to end? As I turned back around to keep running, I tripped over a root and fell forward, waking myself up. I sat up, not quite sure why my head was hurting, feeling the sweat. Only it wasn't sweat. It was morning dew. I was outside. I was on the path I always walked, in the woods. I heard my brother calling my name, then my dad, and my mom. I couldn't speak. I was in a daze, and my feet felt like they were on fire. I had on shoes. That's weird, I thought. I hate shoes. Then I finally noticed why my feet were so hot. I had on 6 pairs of socks, along with my brother's just cleaned shoes, on my feet. Suddenly, my brother comes around the path, seeing me with a sign of relief. "There you are," he said. He had a blanket in his hand. "My feet are so hot," I told him, almost dreamily. "Well, you're wearing 6 pairs of socks, so you can wear my shoes," he said. I sat there for a few seconds, taking in the situation, as my brother placed the blanket over my shoulders. I looked at my brother and said, "I told them you weren't the killer," and passed out. My brother carried me to the clearing, where my parents were. "It's over for now," he says to them, walking over the body I was chasing. "No witnesses," Dad said. "Yep," nodded my brother. "No witnesses," he says, as he carries me wrapped in a blanket.